I will protect our women. I'm going to protect our women. I got into so much trouble. You saw that. I said, we will protect, because I keep hearing, I think the women love me. I do, because they know.
Donald Trump is on a run of bad speeches. And today in North Carolina was no different, because we saw Donald Trump stun his crowd into silence. With just how unhinged and out of control he is, these speeches have only gotten angrier in stranger. As we saw last night with some certain movements that Donald Trump was doing with his mic stand, just really out of control at this point. And he was even weirder today. And we, of course, are going to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quick ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me. Now let's get into this crazy Trump speech, which obviously he thought was pretty great, considering what he said right here.
She said, I grew up with grass on my front yard and some grass on my back. And I'm saying, what the hell is going on? See, I have a little more aptitude for this. I'm really good at this shit. So let me just, you know what we're going to do? We're going to drill, baby, drill like you've never seen before.
I don't hate to break the news to you, Donald, but you're not actually good at this. You're actually pretty bad at. It's the reason that you're crumbling. It's the reason every speech you give is mocked or backfired. Or, as we saw yesterday, with the case of Liz Cheney, is getting you into legal trouble in the state of Arizona. This last week of the campaign has been an absolute mess for Trump, and it is only getting worse as he ramps up his anger, hate, and fear, longing, as we can see right here.
Type numbers, 100% of all net job gains in the past year. This is another beauty. Have gone where? Do you know where? To migrants. 100% of the job openings have gone to migrants, taking jobs from more than anybody else, and you haven't seen the numbers. And I think your speakers should ask Washington for those numbers, because they're really bad. You know where they came from? African-American jobs. They've taken the African-American jobs. Migrants coming in illegally have taken African-American jobs. People that have done a great job. They've worked there for 20, 25 years in different places. And to a lesser extent, Hispanic jobs, but large numbers of African-Americans. It's going to probably be announced right after the election. They should be forced to announce it before the election, because I'll tell you, they won't get one African-American vote. They're letting these...
I said it earlier today. I don't know who on the Trump campaign has told Donald that it is still a good idea to say the black jobs comment when fear-mongering about immigrants, and also the idea that immigrants, as Donald Trump has said before, are taking 100% or over 100% of new jobs created in the Biden-Harris economy is just so ridiculous, and shows how out of touch and really just willing to lie he is. Of course, we know he's willing to lie, but just say things that no one even could believe at all, I guess. Unless you were in Donald Trump's MAGA cult, then they'll cheer. But especially when we're talking about job numbers, Donald Trump seems pretty out of touch, especially with what he said right here.
Well, wait a minute. You just saw, you were going to go over it in a second, the worst numbers I've ever seen. How good was that? To get those numbers 4 days before the vote was, thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
I really hope that the VP Harris campaign picks up on this clip of Donald Trump. I really hope they call this out, because it is a perfect example of how Donald Trump views our country. He was thanking God that the jobs report for this month was lower than usual, lower than expected. Donald Trump is cheering against America. He wants to see us fail for his benefit. That tells you everything you need to know about this guy. He is actually rooting for you to fail. He does not want to see us succeed and wants to see VP Harris fail if she becomes president. Listen to what he said right here.
If Kamala wins, you are 3 days away from the start of a 1929-style economic depression. I believe that. You know, we have a lot of great analysts. Scott Bessent is one. He's one of the smartest guys on Wall Street. A real, you know, I call him 182, 184, double her IQ, like double, maybe triple. But they say The only reason the stock market is doing good is because they all think Trump is going to be elected. So I believe that's true.
Donald Trump has been promising a 1929-style depression, really, since almost 1929 at this point. No, but it's been years of Donald Trump saying that his political opponent, whoever it may be, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, AIVP, Harris, Democrats in general will destroy the economy, when we know that that is the opposite of the truth. It is Republicans who get us into recessions, and then Democrats have to come and clean it up. Exactly, which was the case with Donald Trump. I think you should remember this. Donald, you're clearly losing your mind over there, though. So I guess that's not actually the case. But no, this is the lie that Donald Trump wants to continue to push, much like this lie he told in this clip right here.
I will protect our women. I'm going to protect our women. I got into so much trouble. You saw that. I said, we will protect, because I keep hearing, I think the women love me. I do, because they know.
I think after Trump saying this several times, he would get the idea that women don't want him to be their protector. And this is just off-putting to everyone. And him saying that he's going to do it, whether they like it or not, really is just representative of his gross and disgusting nature. In some crimes, he is actually committed in the past. But no, he continues to deliver this line and his weird rambling speeches. And like I said earlier, the rambling really got out of control when he started talking about the border. Listen to the completely silent crowd as Donald Trump really just rambles about himself. And then Abraham Lincoln, for some reason, just take a look.
Fantastic. They just endorsed me. They said, he's the greatest president in the history of our country. I said, does that include Abraham Lincoln and George Washington? To them, yes. But the reason they said it is because to them, there's nobody that ever did the border job like I did. And I'd call them all the time. I'd bug them. And I said to them in front of a big audience, I said, how many times, she was the border czar, right? She was in charge of the border. I said, how many times did she call? And they said never. So in almost 4 years, I looked, there were like 10 officials behind me. They all gave me this beautiful endorsement. And they've always endorsed me. They've endorsed me every year. Every year, hoping, they were hoping. But they just endorse me. They're great people. They want this country to be so good. They hate, it's easier for them to let people go in. Just go ahead in. But they don't want people to go in. They love the country, the Border Patrol, and ICE too. ICE is incredible. But I said, how many times did she call? Sir, she never called. I said, never? None of you guys? We never received a call. She never went to the border. And it's, in my opinion, the single biggest problem we have. I mean, to me, I rate it bigger than inflation. Inflation's terrible.
They are bored. They are tired. They are fed up. An interesting point that was raised recently is that we've seen Donald Trump hold rallies in states like New Mexico or Virginia, New York, places where he typically wouldn't. And it's because the crowds in the swing states that have heard Donald Trump time and time again just don't show up anymore because they are just so fed up with hearing the same shtick, hearing the same complaints we saw last night in Milwaukee. Donald Trump's crowd was empty and then left early because they've heard this before. So he's going to states where people haven't typically heard him so he can try to bring in a crowd, even though he still fails to do so. But this is what his campaign is like at this point. Just tired and sad, and contrast that with VP Harris today.
And we have an opportunity in this election to turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump trying to keep us divided and afraid of each other. We're done with that. We're done. We're exhausted with it. We're done. And we know who he is. We know who he is. He tells us every day. But Charlotte, that's not who we are. That's not who we are. And we know it is time for a new generation of leadership in America. And I am ready to offer that leadership as the next president of the United States of America.
a huge, energetic, excited rally. And on the Fox propaganda network, it is being aired no less. I'm sure that is going to drive Donald Trump crazy, but that is the complete contrast we see. Donald Trump comparing himself to A.B. Lincoln, his crowd completely silent, bored out of it, and VP Harris talking about you and I talking about moving this country forward, and our crowd is actually cheering. That's the difference. A difference that drives Donald Trump crazy, and a difference that is so perfectly captured in the final closing ad. This is breaking news. We have the final closing ad of the VP Harris campaign, and I want to check it out right here.
Name's Hannah.
Come here, Hannah. Shake my hand. How you doing?
Good.
And bring everybody back together.
And that's exactly how I feel.
That's what I'm doing, man.
Okay, you
So,
have to stay in touch with me, okay?
I would
I'm
love
very
to.
serious about that.
Love to.
Okay. Throughout this campaign, I've seen the best of America, and I've seen what is holding you back and weighing you down. High costs, fundamental rights taken away, and politics that have driven fear and division. You deserve better. As president, I'll bring a new generation of leadership. I'll take on price gouging and bring down the cost of groceries and housing and prescriptions. I'll fight for your freedom to make your own choices, and I will protect your health care and your benefits, not take them away. The vast majority of people in our country have so much more in common than what separates them. Good people, hardworking people. We see in our fellow Americans neighbors, not enemies. We believe in each other. We believe in our country. We're not falling for these folks who are trying to divide us. Together, we'll build a brighter future for our nation, where we stand for freedom, we stand for justice, we stand for the dignity of work. We haven't yet quite reached all of those ideals, but we will die trying because we love our country. Now, the baton is in our hands. I pledge to seek common sense solutions to make your life better. And I pledge to be a president for all Americans. Now I'm asking for your vote, because as president, I will get up every day and fight for the American people. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
That is the message that defeats Donald Trump, and the MAGA movement focused on us and focused on moving forward. And that is what we're going to be talking about on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.